told us they opened WTA, and then they sent us a message telling us that the WTA lobby says that they can't loiter there. So unless they're catching a bus, they can't sit there and be warm. Yet the city just told us that they opened up the WTA for a warming center. But then you contradict yourself and go back and say, but if you're not going to actually get on a bus, you're loitering, you can't stay here.
Boy, this is so weird. This is not the Bellingham I know.
Because half of these people don't say anything. They just hide in their tents. They feel like nobody loves them, nobody cares. We've pushed them into the woods.
Now, let me ask you about people being banned or people refusing to go to the mission.
Drop-in center.
Yeah.
Or the mission.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Well, I have a service animal. And she was drug trained when she was little. I have 13 years sobriety. So, working on 14. So, for me, having her drug trained was very important in my sobriety. Walking to the drop-in center in the mission, I ran into several people that offered me drugs. And she wouldn't let me anywhere near it. She would bite at my calf and not allow me to go. So she went over to my brother's house and I went to the drop-in center because I was desperate. Opportunity Council couldn't help me. I did my intake. They told me to come back every month and check in. And that was it. I have nowhere to go tonight, but, you know, come check back in every month. Okay. Gotcha. You guys are giving hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars, but okay. You can't do anything to help. Gotcha. So, went to the drop-in center because I was desperate and I didn't know what to do. And I was told they're the ones that can help. The only ones in town that can do anything. And I sat there for 10 minutes and I tried. I have panic attacks. I have high anxiety. I have debilitating panic attacks that will leave me shaking against a wall, not able to actually verbally speak what I'm trying. So going into that place and having people fighting behind you, talking loud and yelling at each other, and people are on mats. I mean, you're not on a bed, you're on a mat, like a yoga mat. And people are just laying there, and you've got one corner where people are like sick. And then you walk over here and it's not inviting for one. You want to talk about people with high anxiety and high panic disorders, and you walk into a crowded area with mental illness above, beyond, drug addicts, detoxing, and just going crazy, and you want us to walk in there? And then you get people in there just, and I'm a Christian, but I understand people that aren't, and I understand not pushing my beliefs on someone else. The Lighthouse Mission doesn't believe that. They want to like probe into that and make you conform to their ways. Conform to, you need to forgive, you need to trust, you need to trust. He's all about trust. You can't trust one thing they say. And they're trying to force this trust issue on you so that you can trust them. It's ridiculous. And you've got Teresa that spoke at the Opportunity Council. Do you know that every homeless person in Bellingham knows who Teresa is? Knows exactly what she's about? You know, if you're a homeless person and you see Teresa coming, run. Run as fast as you fucking can, because all she's going to do is take your fucking belongings and then call the cops and tell them where you're camping so that you can't camp there again. And she'd be the first one to admit the first thing she does is call the cops. She kicks us out of the only spots we find. That's a solution? You're part of the solution? That's a problem. That's why we're still running. That's why we have no trust.
You know, that's very different from my experience of, 3-4 years ago. Very, very different. something changed while I was doing other things.
Well, Homes Now saved me. And I've jumped in 100%. And I can't tell you how grateful and full my heart is being involved in this, because I love Bellingham, I really do. But the last couple weeks the last couple months I've been so disappointed in what I've seen. And the fact that a former homeless man started a nonprofit organization to help people that were in the same situation he was. He's the voice to do something, and he's doing something. And he's pushing, and he's pushing, and he's doing something. And now the city thinks that they can just sit down and let him do it because he's actually doing something. They think that we're, working with them? We're working for the people. Is the city? When they're just allowing the rest of the community members to do their job? Where's the emergency shelter? It can't be the Mission, because the Mission is the homeless shelter anyways. So where's the emergency shelter?
Don't they have cold weather shelters in this town? They used to.
Hans has to make the call for her to open them up. And if we do have them, why aren't they open? And why does she need a permit? And why is she working on things? If there's already a plan in place, how come it's not already opening? How come the plan isn't that letter from Bellingham, from the city, already opening their shelters? What shelter did you open? Please tell us so we can transport all the people we're transporting there. If you've got a shelter open, tell us where it is. We'll take people to you. We've got people.
Let me ask you this.
Sorry, I'm just so emotionally upset by it.
You are incredibly impassioned, and I'm with you on this. And, you know, I'm a little startled by what I'm hearing, because my experience, well, I was kind of out of the loop there for a couple of years while I was ill. But my experience was very, very different before that. I saw quite a lot of cooperation and between agencies and between city and civilian. And so, hearing this and, Opportunity Council, so I don't know, maybe things changed while I was focused on other stuff, but it's really startling for me to hear this, because last time I checked, there was some really cool stuff happening. And, the fact that Winter Haven got permitted, and, that all seemed real positive to me.
It is, and we're still going. We have a spot. I can't say the location, but we do have another spot for coming in April. And we're getting everything ready for the next spot after that. So Winter Haven, as far as Winter Haven goes, that is going great. All that is still progressing perfectly. The problem is that the city has decided that since there is Winter Haven and there is Homes Now out there, speaking for the homeless and doing something for the homeless, it's like the city has kind of like taken a step back and decided that they didn't have to do it.
And last night was the city council meeting. How did that go?
The people spoke.
Yeah, I can request the tapes.
We watched it again. It's pretty heartbreaking. I spoke. It's heartbreaking. We begged and begged and begged Mayor Kelly to open something. We had people, we had our van drivers, our outreach drivers come in and tell them, we have van fulls of people, where do you want us to take them? Nothing. Nothing. We got nothing. It was heartbreaking. She told us before we got to speak that she has this under control. She has it handled. And that they feel that they don't need to open anything right now because it's under control. Because Homes Now is out there doing it. They're using our outreach teams to say that they're doing something. You're not doing something. The people of Bellingham are doing something. That's the city's job, to have something opened, isn't it?
Now, none of the churches are stepping
The
up.
Fountain Church is what the Lighthouse Mission goes to as overflow for the women. But it's overflow for the women. And you can only go there if you've been at the Lighthouse Mission for 3 to 4 consecutive days. And yeah, it's a process. Everything's a process over there. And she says she's opened shelters. The mission's always open. So what shelter did you open? The Fountain Church? Well, that's been open for a while. You've been doing that. What else are you doing? That's not enough. We told you that last night. They're not doing anything different. They haven't opened anything new. They've got people transporting people to shelters. No, they don't.
No shelters to go to.
No.
And City
You
Hall
take them
is
to the
closed.
DIC, most of them won't go there. And then where do? You turn them loose on the freezing streets. Sorry, I've been neglecting my outreach team.
Well, go ahead and talk to your outreach team, and we'll take a little break here. I'm puzzled by all this. This is not the Bellingham I know.
It has been heartbreaking. So the first couple days this started, we get people at the guest house with us, the residents. I mean, we're talking, we had 80, we put 80 something people up in hotels. The first 4 days this happened.
Wow.
3 or 4 days. I think it was like till Monday or something. We put people up in motels. Or maybe it was up till Friday, I think it was. And then it ended up just being till Thursday. But we were putting people up in motels. And then the funds ran out and we couldn't do that anymore. So then this shelter opened up. But, I mean, we have been running relentlessly. We rented vans. We have 2 vans that we've rented. And we've got volunteers out there just, grabbing people and bringing them wherever we can. Taking people to the hospital if they need to,
Yeah.
But who else is doing that? And they're acting like that's not a problem. When people see snow, they think beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty and beautiful and fun. Well, it's freezing and it's cold and it's dangerous. People can fall asleep out there. The snow can fall on them and they're dead the next day because they're frozen.
And this shows no sign of letting up
No.
anytime soon.
No.
I keep checking the weather, and there's no end in sight.
Mm-mm. And yet the city has it under control.
So take a minute to take care of your team. I'm going to turn this off so that you can talk